Bills at Ravens. Now, this is game of the week, prime time, Sunday Night Football. Bills are 3-0. Ravens are 1-2. Now, if the Ravens lose, it's going to be very hard to bounce back from a 1-3 record, just like it is for the Bengals. If they win the game, regardless.
Here's something else.
But Dels, who are you going with in this game?
You know who I'm going with. It's the Baltimore Ravens. I don't really care
17-0.
I don't care how great this Bills team looks. It looks great right now. Don't get me wrong. Number one, if we had a power ranking, Buffalo would be there. Baltimore's coming off an impressive win in their own right, though. Right, going into Dallas, dominating them the way they did, over 200 rushing yards. And I think I don't really have any concerns that Baltimore is going to be able to move the ball. Right, Baltimore has been one of, if not the best rushing attack in the NFL this season. Derrick Henry, time to time could be inconsistent, but I still would love to see them play more under center to get Derrick Henry going. Right, that was one of my concerns entering this season. I don't have the numbers, but I feel like the numbers, or at least the eye test, tells me when he gets that full head of steam in the backfield compared to being next to Lamar Jackson, he's just a more more efficient runner than the other way around. And Buffalo has been phenomenal this season. Right, Buffalo has been great. This is gonna be their biggest test too. Right, going up into Baltimore, that's gonna be a hostile crowd. And the first game Baltimore had at home against Las Vegas, embarrassing, right? That's the game you're a double-digit favorite, I believe. This is a 10-point favorite. This is a game you should have had in the bag. So I think it was smart for them, or obviously smart, but it was big for them to bounce back in week 3. You saw after the game too, Marlon Humphrey's going on IG Live. The most said, we can't have any of that. He said, we got to lock in right now. I don't want to be on Instagram Live. We've been fucking up too much.
You saw Lamar?
Yeah.
There was heads that could have been on suicide watch if they won that game.
No, he's crazy. But it's a fact. If you can't start 0-3 if you're Baltimore. Those fans are used to winning. All they really know is winning. You and Lamar, Joe Flacco, all the way down. All they do is win.
That was the type of comment you make, like you're hanging out with your boys type.
Yeah, for sure. He didn't know he was on national TV, I guess. He got an interview, didn't know he was on national TV. But I got Baltimore in this game. This is going to be a statement win for them. 2-2, right back in the mix.
I'm also taking Baltimore in this game. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Derrick Henry has himself a great ball game.
He picked Miami against Buffalo.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But
his Buffalo hate is kind of low-key.
Hate? I've given them nothing but praise.
Low-key. Miami's winning the division.
I said it was a 3-team race.
Last year.
Okay,
Man.
can you stop? Now you know, Joel, I'm starting to see what you're talking about with him and his lies. Now he's just lying. That's his new thing. That's his new mantra. That's his new mantra. God, he's lying.
He didn't pick Miami last year. He picked Miami this year.
No, I didn't. I actually took the Jets before the season started, and then week 1 said it's a 3-team race.
That was a good take.
Yeah. That being said,
well, I don't know. He went back on it.
Being on the road, it's going to be tough for them because Baltimore obviously does play well at home. Derrick Henry's going to have another amazing game. They figured something out against Dallas. Dallas is a terrible run defense, but they were running him under center, or they were running Lamar under center more and more I formation, getting the ball to Derrick Henry, getting him some space, little head of steam. We saw him have his most productive game yet. I think that we're going to see something similar this week versus Buffalo. If there's one thing that Buffalo does struggle against, it's against really high-level running backs. We saw that week 2 versus Achane. We saw James Conner, although in the second half cooled off, he was productive in that game. I just anticipate that this is a dominant Derrick Henry game, matched by a pretty solid performance by Josh Allen and company. But what the Ravens have been pretty great at so far to start this season have been stopping the run. And James Cook and what the Buffalo Bills have tried to do is make themselves a run first and then, of course, play off of that. And you have Killer Shakir getting his, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Dalton Kincaid. You know that they've been spreading the sugar, of course, like Riv likes to say. However, I don't think that it'll be enough. I think that the Ravens need this one. They're a little bit more desperate than Buffalo is. I'm going to go with the
What are you
Baltimore
looking at
Ravens.
me for?
I actually don't know why.
This guy's staring.
I think
it'll be a great game, though.
You're handsome.
Thank you, bro.
Now you're not. You see how
Damn, you can just go from handsome to ugly.
You was being
like
a
that.
prick, and now at first you just let me look at you. Maybe I wanted to look at you. Maybe I adore you. How about that?
Damn, now he feels like shit.
He should.
As he should.
Always should. Buffalo's defense, listen, Buffalo's defensive line has been pretty great to start the year. And if you're looking at Baltimore's offensive line, it hasn't been the best. You know, this is one game where Buffalo's looking at this offensive line and thinking, hey, we have a real shot. Their weapons aren't the most dangerous weapons where Teron's not player, but Razul and Benford shouldn't have a good game in this one. I think they'll be fine out there. I think with this Buffalo offense, they just approach every game and see what the defense is giving them. If you're playing man like Jacksonville, we're going to just put our best quarterback in the world out there, and he's going to light you up. If you are, playing a zone, we're going to run the ball. So I think with Buffalo, their offense is just so dynamic, so different, so unpredictable it's hard to really have a simple game plan for them because you don't know who is it going to go to, what they're going to do. And I think with the way Josh Allen is just not turning the ball over, it's going to be really hard to beat this team. And I think their defense is playing at a high level. So I will take Buffalo. I think them being on the road, first test, tough, but they know that. They're kind of anticipating that. And this is a game that, like Baltimore needs it. I think Buffalo needs to kind of solidify their 4-0 start. Yeah, that they're a legit team. This isn't a fluke. So I got Buffalo in this one.
This is a must-win game for both teams, and I agree with your reasoning about it. The Ravens right now are second in EPA per rush defensively. Mm-hmm. It's been an elite run defense, but who have those opponents been?
Yep.
The Chiefs, the Raiders, and then the Dallas Cowboys. They have all been teams that cannot run the ball like the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills have been 27th in EPA per rush on defense. So I think there is potential for Derrick Henry to have a really great game, but the offensive line is a huge concern for the Baltimore Ravens. And I also think it's a concern for the Bills on their side offensively that this is the first huge test for the wide receivers. Even though the Ravens secondary and their pass defense has been terrible to start the year in terms of yards allowed, they have talent. Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams. They're a talented unit, and I think they're going to play more aggressive against these Bills receivers, and they're going to test them a little bit. This is a 50-50 game. It was really hard for me to decide which way I wanted to go.
Are you about to be a Ravens
because
hater?
I'm seeing the direction
Buffalo's
that the Ravens are going. If the Ravens
6 out of 10
if
panic,
the
by the way.
Ravens start off 1-3, their season's over, Dells. I'm sorry.
Well, the Bengals season's already over, so I mean.
No, and it's not yet. Not over just yet.
Beat the Panthers.
Different 1-3 records, baby.
Beat the Panthers.
No, but in this game,
Beat the Panthers.
in this game, I think the Ravens are more desperate, and I think they'll win this game.
I'll be honest, I'm shocked.
That he took Baltimore.
Well, I thought you were going to take Buffalo too. The way Buffalo has just been so. I thought I was going to be the only one taking Baltimore.
I love to be the only one. It just makes me feel so much sweeter when they win.
And at home, and Derrick Henry, they figured something out with him. Finally, not that hard. Get him in space.
Buffalo has the best offensive line in the league right now.
I know that Lamar Jackson is better in shotgun because you don't know what he's going to do when he has the ball in his hands. But it's also not rocket science. You can play. You can have play action plays and him still go and scramble.
It's kind of what Josh does.
The Ravens,
low key,
their offensive line has been this
shotgun doesn't matter.
Huge concern for us. But this year, lowest pressure rates allowed by offensive lines through week 3. The Ravens are number 1 at 23.1%.
Something's got to give with these numbers, man. These shits all sound.
I also think week 1 was just terrible, right? And that was a prime time game. Yeah,
them.
True. But I'm just saying as a whole, like that whole game, the offensive line was getting destroyed by the Chiefs. So I'm assuming weeks 2 and 3 are kind of
also
lifting that up.
Pat Ricard has done a great job of also being
one of the best fullbacks in the league
for sure.
And Mark Andrews blocking up.
I do like the Ed, Greg, Von Miller vibe though. The trio.
Von Miller's back.
He looks great.
Yeah,
he's
really
back.
It's because he's playing in spots. He's not like consistently
not like a
on
full-time
down.
player,
No,
yeah.
he's like playing in spots.